all this hoopla about intimacy coordinators and authorship and respect and this and that. And somehow we cannot confirm if there was an intimacy coordinator on the set of Another Simple Favor, aka A Simple Favor 2, or not. You would think a woman coming off of a set where she felt assuaged would make sure there was an intimacy coordinator credited and on the set of Another Simple Favor. But every time we've heard her talk about the movie, and even if you look through the credits, nobody's credited to be an intimacy coordinator. Why is that? Let's get into it. F around and find out. Hello there, beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of F Around and Find Out. I'm your host, Elsie. I appreciate you for being here. My friend Bachi over on TikTok, who I talk about all the time, made a video where she talked about the fact that there was no intimacy coordinator on the set of Another Simple Favor. And I thought to myself, that is very bizarre, right? I mean, for a woman to come off this set, It Ends With Us, where she's claiming all sorts of, obscenities and absurdities, and to not have an intimacy coordinator on Another Simple Favor is damn near ludicrous, if you will. Because why wouldn't you have one? Why wouldn't you insist there was one? I also haven't seen the movie Another Simple Favor. I've just heard there were some intimate scenes, but people also say she had those intimate scenes with herself. I mean, I'm sure there was a body double there somewhere. But either way, to not have one is alarming, to use her team's words. But it also got me thinking, how many times have we had these so-called complaints from Blake Lively, right? Like, is this her go-to? Is this her thing? And there's been, conversation about maybe Ryan just saw some of her text messages to Justin, or Ryan started suspecting things. And it brought my mind to something I told you guys about months ago, maybe back in February, I told you guys about the hand therapist that Blake Lively worked with while she was working on Rhythm. What is that movie she did? Rhythm Section. I was going to say Rhythm and Flow for Hustle and Flow. But I always found it very bizarre, the way she described that encounter, right? I'm going to play the video, but I want to set the scene for you guys. And for me, I go to physical therapy. I've had a male therapist before. I've had a female therapist. I go to acupuncture, whatever. At no point do I feel like if I was at therapy, right, receiving physical therapy, I'm hurt. My husband knows I'm hurt. I'm over there getting therapy, and he was to walk in on me doing therapy, would I feel like, oh my God, like I'm not doing anything bad, like I have to prove myself? It's very weird. Like, what is going on in that household, right? What is going on in that marriage where Blake feels like if this and that is what's happening with my therapist, I have to like defend it to my husband?
Yeah, so I did 2 surgeries. I did do physical therapy.
That's tough.
It is tough, except, so Barbara really treats a cast and crew very well, Barbara, our producer. And my husband, we never work at the same time, but he showed up a few days late to after I'd already started shooting. But when my physical therapist enters, he looks like if like Zac Efron and like Fabio had a baby with like a Ken doll. He's like this Italian, like beautiful, like hand therapist? I don't know. He also looked like he could do like a standing back tuck, just like
He's just
on his way to get like a perfect
specimen
espresso.
of a human being.
And he would like, even on set, it didn't matter, like if we were shooting like in the desert, he'd have a perfect little like espresso cup. I mean, he was just like amazing.
Does he speak English?
Yeah, he speaks English, but it was newer to him speaking English. So he was talking about like respiration and how important that is to like, breathe through the physical therapy because it's painful. And Ryan had come in on a red eye. And so he was sleeping in, and I was outside doing physical therapy, and he hadn't met Pierre Luigi yet. And I really wanted him to meet Pierre Luigi.
Oh my God. What? Yeah. Oh, you can't have Pierre Luigi in the house.
No,
that's a rule in our house.
No, he's probably from like Regina, Saskatchewan. Yeah. He said he was Italian, and his name was Pierre Luigi. And so he's out, and I just really wanted my husband, because I felt weird, like something was going on, even though it wasn't. I was like, just wake up.
I mean, unless, of course, allegedly, there's some type of track record in your relationship where a certain person or both of y'all are not faithful. And you know what they say, how you get them is how you lose them. So if you're Ryan and you were married when you got with this girl, and you're this girl and you stole this man from his wife, allegedly. I'll let her finish.
And then suddenly I'm hearing like Ryan starting to wake up, and then I hear Pierluigi say to me, he's holding my hand, he goes, inspiration, inspiration, deep inspiration. And I was like, it's just my hand. No.
It's like kicking the door and what the hell's going on in here?
He's like, what?
Pierluigi, you again? Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, that was awkward.
That's awkward, yeah.
Also, Jimmy Fallon's commitment to egging on the bit is annoying. It was not that funny. Like I never got it. I kept waiting for her to hit the punchline and I never got it. But again, I don't know why your husband would feel weird or you would feel weird. Let me know in the comments if you guys feel this. And I think we talked about this before, but it just made me think, if you're Blake and Justin, right? And we've seen some of the text messages they were exchanging. It was fun back and forth. Even Justin texts Ryan in one of the text messages they provided and let Ryan know, I'm not friends with females that my wife is not friends with, right? And I'm like, we're friends like with couples. If I'm friends with like Blake would have to be friends with Emily. It would have to make sense that way. To me, that's not weird. That's just like setting a boundary. We're never going to get to the truth, right? Unless she has like an epiphany. But there's not a day that's coming where Blake is going to come tell us the truth. Hey, I did this because Ryan thought maybe Justin and I were too close or were too friendly. And I think some people, even me myself, we always have the theory that maybe she was in love with him or fell in love with him. I don't know that I think she wanted Justin for herself. I think she saw the relationship Justin had with Emily and Natasha had with Jamie, i.e. the birth scene, like even down to Justin Baldoni having Emily Baldoni do the ultrasound, on Lily Bloom in the movie. I think little things like that. And down to Justin, I remember one of the text messages he had sent her was, hey, I got to get home. Emily is struggling, at home with the kids without me. This is the longest we've been apart as a family. She called me crying, or Emily, I think Justin said, Emily left me a voice note crying, or she called me crying, so I have to get home. Like, I just have to go home right now. And if you're Blake, you're seeing that and you're like, damn, that's a man that actually wants to be a husband, wants to be a father. Now, I'm not saying Emily and Justin don't have nannies. They probably do. But again, if you're Blake, you're used to you and your husband having a nanny per kid, right? As much as they want to act like Ryan runs home, and even Robin Lively claimed that in her birthday tribute to Ryan, I don't think he's running home because he loves you guys and loves being around the family and loves being a father. I think he's running home because he is not comfortable leaving you at home alone. He doesn't know who you'll be boinking next. You could be trying to boink the driver, the bodyguard, allegedly. But I'm saying it doesn't come off the same exact way, right? Okay. So while I was looking up the Pierluigi movie, they automatically showed me this article where she's talking about the fight scene in Rhythm Section that I never watched. And she mentions the fight scene that they had, which was 4 minutes. And then she says they only did one take. But then the reporter asked a follow-up question, and then her answer is completely different. Just take a listen.
We did work that I'm really proud of. You see, there's like a 4-minute fight in the movie that is one take, and no stunt doubles.
She says we did a 4-minute fight scene that is one take, no stunt doubles, just us. One take means they called action. You did the whole sequence. They called cut. You didn't do a second, take 2, take 3, take 4, right? Then they ask her this. This is what she had to say.
Is that the take that's in the movie?
I'm not sure if it's the take that's in the movie because I did shoot to the end.
So the reporter's voice is very, very, very minimal. But she says, is that the take that's in the movie? As in the fight scene that you filmed only one take? And then she goes, I'm not sure because I filmed till the very end. I'm sorry, what? You did one take, right? The fight sequence makes the movie. What other take could it be? I'm not. Okay.
So I'm not sure if it's the take that's in the movie, but as soon as we wrapped, I went straight to the hospital and then, filmed actually for a couple more days. So I was like, I'm fine. I'm the person who doesn't ask.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm so sorry, but I don't get it. I'm going to move on from this because ridiculous. So another thing that piqued my interest that I was going to talk to you guys about, we remember the Henry Golding, fiasco, right? Of her grabbing Henry Golding, and you can literally hear her saying, not because I want to, just because I think that's what the character would do. And again, it rang some bells for me, right? The director and the actor in the movie you just did took some liberty. The movie directed the movie the way he wanted to, had some script changes, and you consider that to be SH. You walked up to this man and grabbed his nuts. And to you, that's okay? Because he's a man. Now, for those of you at home who are like, it doesn't matter, let's just flip the script. Let's say Henry Golding walked on set and was like, I feel my character will grab Blake's ass while they make out, or will grab a boob, or will bite her lip, or would hold on longer. So let's do that. And tell me where we are. Tell me where Henry Golding's career is right now if he does that. Tell me Justin Baldoni walks on set and he says, I feel like Ryle would do this, so I'm just going to do it. And tell me what kind of conversation we're having right now. Okay, so then I guess it doesn't work that way. For a refresher, those of you who are not here or never saw this, let's just take a quick listen. Speaking of Aviation American Gin, we know for the second movie, Paul Feig wisened up and created his own gin company because you guys know Blake Lively had lied to him about Aviation Gin in the beginning. When she first went up to propose Aviation Gin to be used for a simple favor, she said it's a gin her husband really likes. And likes the company very much, but she never actually told Paul Feig her husband owned the company at the time, and free promo pretty much. So Paul Feig figured that out and created his own gin for the second movie, is the word on the street. I'm sure it's accurate because it came out of Paul Feig's own mouth. But I've never watched the second movie, so I don't know what the gin looks like or if it's in there. I actually know what the gin looks like. I just don't know what it looks like in the scenes. This is this Katie Max girl. I think her name is maybe Mackenzie. I don't know, but she spells it in a very bizarre way. Talking to Tryon Belisario, who played Spencer Hastings on Pretty Little Liars, she said she was talking to her about intimate scenes as a married couple because she's married to Mike Ross from Suits, right? And this is what she had to say that Henry Golding had told her.
Sure. What is it like seeing your partner have a romantic relationship on screen? I interviewed Henry Golding and we talked about this because he wasn't an actor before booking Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh my God.
And I remember him saying it was hard for his wife because she was like, you were never an actor and all of a sudden you're falling in love on screen.
Sure.
What is it like seeing your partner have a romantic relationship on screen?
Ton of big movies, and you've done everything from action-packed movies to romantic movies. When you were just starting out, what was your wife thinking?
She hated me. It was a huge adjustment for both of us. Me being away for 2-3 months and being on screen in love with these sort of random people. After a couple of years, we've kind of found our way. Communication is obviously key.
So that's what Henry Golding had to say to the matter. But I was just thinking, like, honestly, there's a difference. If it's in a script, your wife sees it, you talk about it, it happens, versus you say nothing to your wife about somebody grabbing your crotch. It's not in the script. It's not talked about. Then you come home one day, or maybe you don't even think it's going to be used, in a scene. So you come home and you don't say anything about it. Then you're at the premiere or whatever, watching the movie with your wife, and then somebody's grabbing your crotch. And like, sorry, honey, I forgot to talk about this part. It can be bizarre. And then you tack on this interview she did with Anna Kendrick. Shout out to Anna Kendrick, but this was bizarre on both of their parts, talking about how they were kind of hazing him, if you will. Anyway, let's take a listen.
There's a moment where, Anna, you're like a real third wheel. If you've got any experience where you've just felt like
I know.
super
I genuinely
awkward. Felt as annoyed about Stephanie as you have. So it was nice because people were like, no, Stephanie's super.
Oh,
You're
Stephanie's
like,
all right.
no,
And I'm
she's
like,
a
no,
real
she needs to
third
get
wheel.
her life together.
Yeah.
No, I felt really uncomfortable filming that scene, actually.
Really?
It's just Blake and Henry are just canoodling, saying hello to each other at the end of a day. And I'm just like sitting there.
She's specifically referencing the crotch.
And there were some takes where it was like quite quick, and then there were takes that like I did feel a bit bad because like we were trying to keep Henry on his toes a little bit because sometimes we like underestimated the fact that like this is a second movie. And we probably should have just been really, really nice.
Yeah, and it was like an 11-page scene.
Yeah.
And,
And there were takes when I could tell that Blake was just trying to kind of like mess with him a little bit and get a reaction out of him, except that then I was sitting there going like, oh my God, I don't know where to look.
Oh my God, oh no, I felt like he was uncomfortable.
I'd venture to say Blake grabbing his crotch was her way of messing with him a little bit. But let's just say Henry wanted to mess with her a little bit. What could he grab? Right.
I know you were uncomfortable too. I
no.
Everyone uncomfortable. But that was the point though, is that like to like be up in his space and like make her character uncomfortable. And I felt like for some reason, because we were sort of like going back and forth, that poor Henry would like walk in the middle of the scene and be like accosted and then have to leave.
Well, this is just, it's the gift that keeps on giving. But again, all this to say, this is this woman's MO. Rules for y'all, not for thee. She doesn't get to play by these rules. She gets to run amok. She gets to run around on every scene and take and take and take, and authorship here, authorship there, and rule the world because she's Blake Lively. And well, sucks to suck. You're just gonna have to deal, right? Before I let you guys go, there is actually some news. We do have an order from Judge Lyman saying he is granting the waiver parties. Remember the last time we talked about the waiver parties, asking for more time to write a response to him about the whole Jamie Heath video situation, because Blake and her team filed it the wrong way, a letter motion instead of, a proper motion. So they're getting the 3 extra days they needed. So instead of the response being due tomorrow, Monday, it will now be due on the 6th. So we're not going to hear, their stance on that till the 6th. Probably is going to come at midnight or midday if we're lucky. But the judge has granted them that. And that's all on that front. I am going to show you guys a video from the orphanage. But just a quick reminder, you probably won't hear from me Tuesday or Wednesday, because if nothing happens, because I'm getting my injection tomorrow. I'm filming this Sunday night. You guys are going to be so proud of me. It's not midnight yet. It's almost midnight, not midnight yet. So that's me in the denim, I say jean jacket, but in the denim jacket next to the cement and the rice and the kids sitting on the toilet paper, some juice, some ramen noodles in a box. And I actually have a video to show you guys later. If you look at this compound and when the camera cuts, you can see right there is no construction, right? I have an update. So you can see the cement bags right there. I guess perfect. It's paused. You can see the cement bags that I'm standing next to. Those brown bags that are stacked with cement bags. And my husband and I, back in 2018, visited this orphanage. They needed a toilet. They didn't have a toilet on site, right? They had to go somewhere else. They needed to use a toilet. So we put in the toilet. And then to start ground construction on that site, we got them some cement bags. And if you actually look behind the cement bags, you might have to squint. You could see some blocks being created, I guess bricks you would call them here, to start construction on the site. And now, since we broke ground and we didn't build the whole thing. But when people visit and they see like, oh, it's in some phase of construction, it has a foundation, it has a bedroom, it has 2 bedrooms, people kept donating. And now it's a whole structure, a livable structure. So I really, really love that progress. I love that we're able to start something and people built on it. I'm going to show you guys that in the next video. So with that said, I just want to say I appreciate all of you guys for donating to the GoFundMe. I appreciate your continued support. Thanks for hanging out with me. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, and then I'll try to get back to you. I appreciate your time. Have yourselves a great day. Have a good one. Bye-bye.